Baylor looking for their first points, and that is their third turnover so far. Looking to extend their stay.
4 seniors for Baylor, 2 seniors in the starting lineup for Duke. One group will see their career end today.
Had 15 points on Friday, the win against Nebraska, and then nobody gets back to stop Delaney Thomas. Fournier. Oh, good coverage that time by Little Page Bugs, but that left single coverage on Fournier.
Coming in for the Bears, number 7. She can shoot the ball. She hit 2 threes for them coming off the bench against Nebraska in the first round.
Scott is a hot.
She wasn't healthy yet. You mentioned Delaney Thomas not starting. They just looked like a completely different basketball team. And the defense for Duke, the confidence.
Maybe one too many. 6 on the shot clock now. Fournier on the bench. Jackson there for 3, one of the top 3-point shooters all time.
And of course, making their first Elite 8 in the Kara Lawson era last year.
Both of these programs were in the Sweet 16 2 years ago. And Baylor, final double in each of the last 2 seasons. Talk about reliability, game in, game out. Van Geitenbeek had that shot affected the way they can. Instead, Van Geitenbeek puts it right off the legs of Mayer. Jackson cashes it in.
Baylor's 7th turnover.
Okay, Kelly, is it the Duke defense that's so suffocating, or is Baylor just being careless with the ball?
It's a combination of both, but this Duke defense, I'm telling you.
Both teams coming in with records of 25-8 overall. Duke, the ACC champions, and that's a travel. Called on Little Page Bugs. 9th turnover. Mayer driving, not intimidated by the size of Kyla Abraham at 6'3". Jackson, Fournier.
What a pass.
She's back.
Fantastic passes in this tournament, and especially in that ACC championship win against Louisville.
Little Page Bugs working hard in the paint. Robertson
Misses her from a depth perspective.
Fournier. Robertson. For the most part, it was just 7 players for this Duke team. And if they can get Robertson and Wood going off the bench, watch out. Free throw shooter, 9 of 12 from the line against Nebraska. Another time this season, and that was against Duke in Paris. But typically, Scott, a little shake and bake to set herself up.
Professional scorer, that's what Nick.
Scott has 4 points, 1 field goal made so far. That falls fortuitously. Still, nothing coming easy.
Leroy is their next best offensive option. She's got to be aggressive and look to score.
Point in the season, she understands she has to play better. Play the way she did in the ACC tournament.
And I liked that from Coach Lawson because she didn't want to make it a mental thing for Mayer. She didn't want.
Scott on the run. Wouldn't she love to pick up some points in transition, but Duke having none of it. Behind the back, Scott going all the...
Scott to get a look at the rim. It still feels like a lot of one-on-one from Baylor.
Fournier drew the defense, got it over to Thomas. 17 points in that overtime ACC championship win against Louisville. Fournier. Just to keep that in, but then turns it over to Baylor, who gives it right back. What they'd want, but then Little Page Bugs just bangs it off the backboard, and Jackson out on the run for Duke. Little Page Bugs going to Johnson on the inside. That Mayer calls her own number, why not? Riley Nelson now with it. Earned herself that layup. Couldn't finish it off, Fournier. How about the 3? So trying to get things back to a level that they felt was more effective and more efficient a little earlier in the season. Good drive by Fun.
She's got to be aggressive. That was a great play.
A lot of contact as Thomas goes to the floor. Mayer, 6 on the shot clock. Jackson, open look for Robertson. Continuing to expand on this, their largest lead. Somehow this still goes back to Fournier, who makes something out of nothing and draws the foul. Okay. Wood knocked down all of her three-point attempts against Charleston on Friday. Make Duke history. Everybody diving on the floor for the ball. Tie up. Possession arrow.
Struggling, instead of going to Brow, they could have gone to Johnson. She's a bit more of a scoring threat. They missed her specifically in a game like this.
Nelms calling for it inside. Jackson, one more pass. Robertson from the base.
Fournier's got to be careful. She's got those 2 fouls.
Little Paige Bugs is going to draw attention. 4 points, 5 rebounds in the first half. Talia Scott
got to the free throw line so much against Duke in the first round. So that's been a better job by Duke to defend without fouling.
Adding to the Bears' woes, their inability to hit a 3. They have
Coach Collin talking about how they love to get her on that floppy action. They just ran that play on their previous possession. Downstream, get her the ball around that free throw line extended to go score.
Looked like little Paige Bugs almost second-guessing herself there. She went up with the shot fake, but then actually went up. Now this fell into the hands of Fauntleroy. Good effort.
That's Duke's length. Every player in their 7-person rotation is over 6 foot except for Taina Mayer.
And she can shoot the 3 and do a lot of other things really well. Jackson, open, short. Robertson, put back is good.
Bugs did not have control of the basketball either, so I thought she was a bit out of control. That was a very difficult call.
And a foul on Thomas, her second. Blue Devils on a 6-0 run over the last minute and change. Robertson wide open inside. How does that?
At the bucket.
Kirsten Johnson, KJ Collar over to Dunn. Just a contested shot.
Play 40 minutes in women's college basketball, so that puts into perspective what LSU can do.
I saw a quote from Fajay Johnson the other day that said, hey. Jackson running the floor.
Duke playing the open floor.
Back-to-back plays. That was one of the keys coming out of the Charleston game for Duke. As Delaney Thomas continues to have a great game. You see the numbers, and look at the numbers today. Much better job defensively there by Duke, just not giving up an inch anywhere.
And we showed...
It does feel like both ends of the floor. They've had a couple more turnovers maybe than they would like, but nowhere near the amount that Baylor has had. Duke has 12, Baylor has 20. The scoring led by Delaney Thomas is 15. Talia Scott, her first year with Baylor, her first in the NCAA tournament for the first time. Got the win on Friday. Having a tough go of it here against the Blue Devils.
Soda with a crazy last-second buzzer beater to beat Ole Miss to advance to their first Sweet 16 since 2005. That's so cool. We need Ashla Jackson shooting the ball well. She's 2 for 9 from 3 tonight. It hasn't made that much of a difference because of Duke's defense and everyone else around her, but she was a big part of keeping this team together. And that's why having players that are so committed to your program and to your institution matters, that you can weather those. Absolutely. And it's a bit reminiscent of 2 of their losses this year when they lost to West Virginia and Texas. And in each of those games, they had 30 turnovers. And
Scott, her 3-point attempt, just it looks bothered, even when there's not time. Jackson. Fournier, so tough to stop when she is in there. Fauntleroy picks up her 4th personal and will send Skylar Brown back on the floor at the point guard spot. Eventually the ball finding its way in. Feel like Duke needs to get out of these final 6 minutes and change.
That right there, Riley Nelson, getting her on the board.
They will have to hit the road, of course. Had the home court advantage, which they earned by virtue of the 3 seed in the NCAA tournament.
It's going to be really fun to watch.
Nelson was the last Blue Devils starter to score. She did that in the ever first-round loss in the NCAA tournament. This year at Cameron Indoor back in 2001, and then they just went on a roll. Didn't lose in the first round again.
Minnow, should be a really interesting game.
Fournier is back out there on the floor for Duke. Good take by Nelson. Riley Nelson, red-shirted last season, and has scored all 5 of her points here in the fourth. It's tough to keep all these games in their allotted time slots when you're going back to back to back.
But that's why you don't ever change her and get her a little more help so that they can be a bit more balanced offensively.
Robertson adding points and rebounds, now 1 assist as well. Fournier just couldn't help herself. Went Kelly with the fact that it truly is just a 7-player rotation for the most part. Weekstrom is out there now. Anna Weekstrom, the freshman, occasionally gets builders earlier in this game and is, without question, part of the legacy that Jackson will leave behind.
Ashlyn Jackson is one of those players.
Has her first field goal in her last time in a Baylor uniform. The crowd letting this Duke team. 9:46, it was never in doubt. Not the way this one started. The Duke Blue Devils, a dominant performance to move on to the Sweet 16.
Weekend for Duke. They dominate Baylor in the 3-6 matchup. Feels like they've got a lot of momentum. One of the best turnarounds we've seen in college basketball as of.
So much for hanging with us here in Durham. For Kelly Gramlich and our entire crew, I'm Jen Hildreth. More NCAA action on the way.